Now explain that to me. Do you mind if I button this? No, just get you kind of looking as sharp as you do. Tell me again now. 5 year, because it's hard to accept that a 5-year-old has it together that much. But you say
5-year-olds got guns down here, and they will use them.
what's the age group that you can count on in the gang to do what needs to be done? I mean, what do you...
5 and up.
Are serious gang members?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you rely on a 5 or a 6-year-old?
5-year-olds in this neighborhood is just as rough as the 30-year-olds.
They carry guns?
Yeah.
5-year-olds carry guns?
Yeah. They sell drugs too.
Does that bother you?
No, they trying to survive the best way they know how.
So the gang is recruiting or bringing in 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds?
And older.
But how young are the kids the gang will accept?
Me, I have no age limit.
You'd accept a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old?
You can be 100 years old. You want to be blood, you can be it.
But would you accept one that young?
A what?
A 4 or 5-year-old?
Yeah. A 5-year-old, not a 4.
But you'd accept you accept 5-year-olds in the gang?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you expect them to do?
And do what they normally do.
Sell drugs?
Yeah.
Carry guns?
Yeah.
Use a gun?
They did it before.
Okay.
All right, Melvin, I want to ask. You say that one of the rules are that you can't give names, you can't tell what gang members are doing. That's like the code of the gang. How can you trust a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old to keep that rule?
A kid can keep a secret better than an adult can.
Say again.
A kid can keep a secret better than an adult can.
Can you scare a kid into doing that?
Not in this neighborhood.
But you can make him do it.
Yeah.
Can we expect to see 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds in the gangs in these towns?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. I mean,
They see what the big kids doing, so they want to join. Most of them get put in by their brothers or whoever they know in the gang.
as young as 5, 6?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine, Bobby. That's okay. All right.
Tell me when they might use it to see what goes on. Danny?
Yeah.
Can you tell me when they hit the door?
Yep. That's Jim coming out the door.
Watch here. Take care of him.
I don't remember who it was. That the gangs feed off of youth.
Absolutely.
How? Explain that to me.
They feed off them in several ways. First of all, when you say that the gangs feed off our youth, they feed off our youth in ways that allow them to maintain their power, influence, and status, and maintaining their business. Because these youth are looking for opportunities that our society don't provide for them. So I create this opportunity. Illegal it may be, but it's an opportunity. Wrong it may be, it's an opportunity. Dangerous, yes, but it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that my society, this great America, has not provided for me.
When those in public office or whatever say, we don't have a serious gang problem here and it's not a threat to our community, what do you say?
I say they are absolutely wrong. I think we got a very dangerous threat to our society. We have a very dangerous threat.
Speaking of dangerous threats,
You're a dangerous threat.
from the question,
I'm sorry. You were saying,
They're absolutely wrong. They are living in times that they have adopted a philosophy, I would like to say, that is detrimental to what we're trying to do, and that's to change what is happening in our society.
well, tell me the truth. How bad is it?
I think violence in Mobile is beginning to reach an all-time high. I actually believe that. I believe that we in the South are going to be faced within the next several years the same violence that you find in other major cities. I think that our society, this city, is prone to delinquency, corruption, and the increase of violence among our youth. We got to create those opportunities that deter our youth from violence and from gangs and from drugs. Until those opportunities are created, we're going to have an increase.
Tell me how it works, because you talk to these guys. What the gangster disciples, the Crips, the Bloods from the other cities, how has it worked? What have they done here?
What they've done here, they've franchised, basically. You know, and I know that in any business, it is very easy to reestablish a business in a building that's already established than to go buy land, build a building, furnish the building, and then stock the building. It's less expensive to renovate an old building, and these are gangs who have already somewhat established themselves and somewhat organized themselves, but they don't have the technology, they don't have the money or the source to build their business. So me as an entrepreneur, and this is what Chicago gangs are, they're businessmen, they're entrepreneurs. They come in and they're franchising. They bring in the resources that these wannabe gangs and these scavenger gangs need. But after providing the resources, anytime you bring in money and drugs, you got to have protection. An individual dealer cannot operate in this city alone. He cannot set up a ma and pop drug business and everybody leaves them alone, because we also have gangs in the city that are scavengers in a sense because they rob other drug dealing gangs. Okay, so he has to have protection, and to do that he has to have the arms, he has to have the manpower, and then he has to have the mentality among those who are he considered enforcers to do the job that's necessary to protect that business and to protect that income.
So the gangster disciples, the Crips and the Bloods, come in and transform?
They transform, they rebuild, they establish, they bring in the resources, the technology, or whatever it takes to protect their interest in the business.
And what's happened here?
What has happened here is that we at one time had what we call scavenger gangs, but now we got organized criminal gangs who are being supported by criminals outside of this area, such as the Black Gangster Disciples of Chicago and the Bloods and Crips out of LA.
How long has it taken to happen, and how fast have they moved?
This has began here in Mobile back in the 1980s, where our young people began to see the emergence of gangs, and basically these was kids who want to emulate other gangs in other areas. But unrecognized to us was the fact that profiteers in the drug market market saw this as a chance to build their businesses from other areas. For example, in LA and Chicago, where certainly the supply is there, but the demand is not as great as it is here. Here, we have a low demand, a low supply, but a greater demand. So now, gang members out of Chicago and out of other areas of our nation can come into the South and sell their drugs at a higher price, using basically the same quantity that they use in other areas.
So they targeted this area?
They have targeted the South. They've targeted the South and other rural areas where there's a greater demand.
How vicious are they? How vicious have they been?
They've been very vicious. Of course, in the last several months, we've had several drive-by shootings, and I'm convinced that this has been the result of gang warfare, and of course, as a result of drugs in this city.
Sylvia had said, you mentioned something that they've done everything, but I don't know, that they do everything. I mean, they'll try anything. They're that vicious, true?
Yes, they're very vicious, just try anything. For example, if one of the gang members have mismanaged the money, and if they cannot get to that person, then they'll take out that person's family, whoever they may be, as a message to him that he's going to suffer the consequences one way or the other.
They're that vicious, that cold?
They're just that vicious and just that cold. They have what we call, in gang talk, a zero mentality, a loco mentality. Crazy, heartless, gut, violent, ruthless killers, murderers. And they're destroying the lives of our young people right here in Mobile.
How bad is it around here?
It is very serious because we have an escalation of violence that we've never seen before. And this violence is not something that's such as a fad that we feel is going away. We feel it's going to escalate.
How did you get interested?
I've been in this business since 1990, in my early years, where my own son was involved in gangs. And of course, through the efforts in trying to help him, I understood and learned that other parents was also involved. And I'm not ashamed of that because it allowed me an opportunity to really understand what's going on in our society.
You know, so many people have the stereotype that these kids are, kids from a single-parent home or broken home, lousy home, who just join for nothing else, and it's because the home is bad or whatever. But there's more to it. You were explaining to me that the lure of the gang has become so strong that it can pull children away from good homes, good educations. True?
Yes, very true. Matter of fact, a lot of gangs target two-parent homes, if you would, because there's no income in that home. This child will have access to money, access to credit cards, access to influential people. If, for example, if a kid is the son of a policeman, then they have inside contact. If he's the son of a lawyer, then they may have some legal contact that they can use. So no. They use a strategy that will help promote their business. And yes, they're not just picking on kids who are from single-family homes. Of course, they're there because they're the kids that certainly need the great opportunities, the job, the money, and the status and the influence. But they're also using kids from very well-to-do homes because of the influence that the parents can bring.
This isn't just a problem in Mobile, but there are towns where it's becoming a problem and the parents have no idea, much like your own case.
Exactly.
What's your advice to them?
My advice to any parent is to, first of all, find out what your child is doing. Be involved in that child's life. And then if you have a problem, to try to be supportive. But at all costs, use tough love to get that child to understand that, hey, you mean a lot to me. I love you, but I cannot tolerate your behavior. And send that message very clearly. And don't be naive.
What are some of the signs that a real serious gang has come to town?
Some of the signs is the increase in drive-by shootings, which is what we've had in the city. The increase in drugs in various pockets of the community, not just in the urban community, not just in the black community, because you got to understand that this is a cancer that grows, and it grows outward, not inward. And when you see this increase in drug activity, the increase in drive-by shooting, the increase in violence among our youth, we know we got a problem
With gangs?
with gangs. We know we got a problem with gangs.
Do you remember how you felt when you first figured out this was coming from the outside in? This was coming from Chicago and LA?
Yes, I felt somewhat not only surprised, because I wanted to believe, like most parents, that this was just another fad among our kids, that they just wanted to dress alike, you know, and they just wanted to be like normal kids, you see. Wear crazy clothes, dye their hair, put on the scarves, wear crazy pants and shoes. And then one day they all come up putting on business suits, going to college. But no, this is not true. So I was very surprised. And then I was disappointed that our city did not recognize this problem early.
You say it's not a fad, it's not the clothes, it's not just this. That's not true. What is true? What is it?
What is true is that we have organized gangs that are influencing our gangs here and making those gangs become a profitable business for them, whether it be Chicago or LA.
Violent?
They're building a business, and they're using violence to build that business, like any organized crime group would. If they have a territory and they want that territory, they're not going to go in there and ask for it. They're going to take it, and they're coming hard to do that.
Will that change